Hi, Liam Ward here at LearnTheHarmonica.com with my first harmonica lesson of 2017. This week is 60s week. Next week we're going to go on to the next decade, 70s, then 80s and so on. So let me know what songs you want from those decades. But this week we're playing Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones. I believe it was out in 1966, so right in the middle of the 60s, and it's a lovely song to sit on harmonica. We're going to play it on an A harmonica. The song is in E minor, rather, but don't worry about the song key and the harmonica key. Just pick up your A harmonica and you'll be able to play along with me. If you don't have an A harmonica, you can follow the tab and play it in whatever key you fancy. It just won't be in the same key as me. Okay. There are some bends in this, so it's really good practice for your bends on holes 2 and 3. It uses the first bend on hole 2, which is an underused note, and it's kind of because of the scale, if you like, of the song. The feel of the song has a certain, almost sort of Eastern feel. So the first line, da 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 da. It's kind of, it's not particularly bluesy. It's not particularly kind of happy. It's sort of a little bit kind of sort of mystical almost. I really like it, and that's why I chose it. So let's have a little look at the tab for that first line. We're going to go through a full verse, and just so you're aware, once you got to the end of this verse, you can apply these same notes to the rest of the song. I've had a listen and I'm pretty sure it would apply to all the following verses. So we'll talk about the words to the first verse, but you could really apply this to any of your subsequent verses in the song. So this should make you be able to play the whole of the song. So the first line, as I say, goes something like this. Okay, now I'm going to go through the tab. There's a little bit in brackets at the end of this line. We'll talk about that when we get to it because it's optional. But let's start with I see a red door. So we've got 2 draw, and then 3 draw second bend, 3 draw first bend, 4 blow, and then 3 draw first bend. I see a red door. Not getting those notes, but I've played close enough to them on the harmonica. Excuse me. So, we've got a few bends there. Obviously, we've got the second bend on 3, then the first bend on 3. Then you go to the 4 blow, and then you have to hit that first bend on 3 again. So we've got to go. If your bends aren't up to scratch, look at my lessons on bending, do some work on those. But if you're finding it difficult, it doesn't mean this song isn't for you, because I find it difficult. It's tricky to get those notes and make them sound melodic. Even experienced harmonica players, sometimes their bends aren't perfect. It's one of the things that really takes time on the harmonica, and no one's perfect with their playing, so keep working at those bends. But that first line, I see a red door. Then we've got another bend, and I want it painted black. Second bend on 3. And then 2 draw, 2 draw, 2 draw first bend, 2 draw, 3 draw second bend again, and then 2 draw, and then 2 draw first bend. And we're finishing on the 2 draw first bend, which is really quite unusual with the harmonica, which is why this song is really quite a cool song to play. It's a little bit different. It's a slightly different challenge from a lot of the other songs that I put up on YouTube, so it's really worth this work. So let's go from "And I Want It Painted Black." See if you can follow this in the tab. I'm going to start with that second bend on 3 draw. And notice black is 2 notes. Black. 2 kind of syllables, if you like. 2 draw and then 2 draw second bend. And if you take it too far, it doesn't quite work. Okay, you're not getting the tune, you're getting... which is just immediately isn't the tune that we're all familiar with. So see how important it is to get that first bend. Tricky, and maybe you haven't played it on an A harmonica before. So let's play that line in full, and then I'm going to talk about the bit in brackets at the end. Okay, so let's have a little go at the line from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, cool. Now, you probably want to play it nice and slow like that. I know it's faster in the actual tune, but just whilst you're learning it, take it nice and steady. There is a little bit at the end of this line I've put in brackets. I've put a 2 blow and then a 2 draw first bend again. I don't think he actually sings those. I don't think that it's part of the vocal line, but the instrumentation behind it has a little wiggle. And again, I was talking about it sounding sort of Eastern and sort of mystical. It adds to that mystical sound if I go from black and add those 2 extra notes. Oops. Sticky reed. So if I add that on the end. It just kind of adds a little bit. It's an optional thing, you really don't have to do it. But I just thought, you know, I kind of hear it in the instrumentation behind the vocals, so why not imitate it on the harmonica a little bit if you fancy it. The great thing about this tune is the next line is the same. Okay, so the lyrics change. So we've got, I see a red door and I want it painted black. And then, no colours anymore, I want them to turn black. So it's the same thing. Oh, I've got such a sore throat. My voice is breaking and I'm singing terribly. So both those lines will be the same. So let's just have a go at putting those 2 together. So it'll be the same line twice. 1, 2, 3, 4. The other thing you can do, which is tricky, but maybe worth a bit of effort, is trying to do a bit of vibrato on that 2 draw first bend. I did a little bit then and it wasn't great, but just as something to work on, I'm kind of doing a with the jaw. I'm moving my bent note so that it goes up and down a little bit, giving it a vibrato. It's different from the vibrato, by the way, I'd get on a 2 draw natural note, which is more pulling from the stomach. This one is more, see my jaw going. That's an aside. But basically we've got those 2 lines in a row. And then that's halfway through a verse. We've got 2 more lines now. And luckily for you, there's no more bends on that 2 draw. I'm just looking and going, have I got that wrong? No, there's no more bends on the 2 draw. There is, however, the bend on the 3. Okay, so let's have a little listen to the next line and see how it sounds. Great, so that's, I see the girls walk by dressed in their summer clothes. So we've got 6 blow, and then 5 draw, 5 draw, and then 3 draw semitone bend, 3 draw semitone bend, 4 blow. That gives us I see the girls walk by. Ba, 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 ba. Now you've got to jump from that 5 draw down to the 3 draw semitone bend, which is tricky. You might want to isolate those 2 notes. If you just play those back and forth, it will get you to get that move from one to the next quicker than if you were playing the full tune over and over and over again. Okay, so maybe isolate those. just try that back and forth for a little bit of practice. But that's I See the Girls Walk By. And then dressed in their summer clothes. Oops, added an extra note in there. There we go. So we've got 4 blow, 4 draw, 4 draw, 4 draw, 4 blow, 3 draw, semitone bend, 4 draw. Now, in this, again, we've got an extra syllable, if you like, in summer. Just as we had black, we've got summer. Instead of summer, we've got an extra little syllable. So there's a 4 draw and then a 4 blow, then a 3 draw semitone bend, all on summer. Da, da, da. Okay, and then it goes up to the 4 draw for clothes. So let's try that second half of that line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. And the line in full would be something like this. So we're going from I See the Girls. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great, fantastic. Now, again, luckily for us, if you look at the next line, it's the same tab. So we've got 6 blow, 5 draw, 5 draw, 3 draw semitone bend, 3 draw semitone bend, 4 blow, 4 blow, 4 draw, 4 draw, 4 draw, and then 4 blow, 3 draw semitone bend, 4 draw. The words just change. So I have to turn my head until my darkness goes. And darkness is the 3-syllable word there. Darkness. So it's got the extra thing in it. But if you were to take these lines and put them on the next verse, they would work as well. So really, you've only got 2 lines to learn. You just play the first one twice and the second one twice. And that gives you the song. What you might want to do to make it a bit more interesting is put the little bit in brackets sometimes at the end of those first 2 lines. And maybe add a note or take away a note here or there. What I would suggest, if you're not sure which notes to add or take away, is that you pick another note which is already part of the tune. That's going to be kind of a sort of cheater's sort of easy way, without knowing the theory, of picking a note which might fit. So if you picked, for example, the bottom bend on hole 3, it's less likely to fit than the first or the second bend on hole 3. Because it's not part of the tune anywhere else. So don't use that note as a fill. Similarly, the 3 draw without a bend is less likely to fit because it's not part of the melody anywhere else as well. So just an idea of how to make it interesting. See if you can add a note in here or there. Let's have a little go at playing the whole thing in full. So we're going to go from the top to the end of the verse. I hope you can play along with me. Do the best you can. I'm not going to go too fast. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool, great. So we've got through that verse there. It is obviously a bit faster than that. It's not the fastest song ever, but you will need to work it up to speed. At that point, you could go on to I see a line of cars and they're all painted black. It's just the same melody. Obviously, you've got to think about your bends as well when you're playing this. You need to make sure that they're as in tune as possible, and that will really make or break the tune. It's really worth putting the work in because it's something that a lot of players don't work on enough, is getting their bends not just bending so you can move the note, but being able to hit them as melodic notes. So give it some work because it's definitely worth it. I hope you've enjoyed playing this with me today. This was my 60s song this week. Next week I'm going to do a 70s song, then I'm going to go 80s, 90s, so on, okay? So if you like a specific song from the 70s, let me know, and hopefully I'll be doing it next week for you. Until then, enjoy your practice. It's good to be back with you for 2017. I hope you're looking forward to doing some more playing this year, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers.